Looking for a place to speak your truth? This podcast is on an endless pursuit to build through entrepreneurship, empowerment, and creativity. Through thought-provoking content and a fearlessness to dive into untouched topics with an undeniable dedication to highlighting others who are often overlooked. This is Deep Conversations.
Stay tuned for Deep Conversation Podcast.
Welcome to Deep Conversations Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Ryan Stewart, and today I'm here with the founder of Puppy Kitty NYCity, Megan.
Yeah.
So, Megan, before we get started, I would like for you to just give a view of who you are to the people.
Sure. So I'm the president of Puppy Kitty NYCity. We're a small, grassroots organization here in Queens, New York, and I do sort of a little bit of everything since we're small. I do a lot of the hands-on street rescue when people reach out to us either on Instagram or just through word of mouth. Like I go out on the street and get the cats and rescue them and trap them. I handle all the social media, so the posts about the stories of the cats, trying, to raise money and awareness of everything that's going on. I foster out of my house, and then, just the boring admin type of stuff, answering emails and paying bills and stuff like that.
Yeah. So what motivated the creation of PKNYC, and how has the organization's role in the community evolved since, was it 2014 I read?
Yeah, we were established in 2014. We became an official 501c3 in 2018. And we've been growing. Unfortunately, it's in a response to, a problem, an overpopulation crisis here in New York City. And we've just been growing because the need is so great. And as you grow on social media and in the organization, more people that are joining you, when you're a cat person, you tend to find cats, the cat distribution system. It's always choosing me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've just continued to grow. We used to kind of, our home base was out of my garage here in Queens, like a little 200 square foot garage. And in 2021, we we rented a small space. It's like 1,200 square feet. And this year, hopefully we're going to get a building or something, because there's so many cats on the street. I'm from Connecticut, and I moved here in 2011, and I had no idea that there was such a huge problem here. You're always going to see stray cats, but it's out of control here, like thousands and thousands and thousands. And, we can't adopt our way out of this problem, unfortunately. So one of our focuses is TNR, which is trap, neuter, return, where you trap feral cats who are not candidates for adoption, get them spayed and neutered, and release them back into the community where they're from. And that's to, help reduce the population.
So what does it mean to you to never say no to an animal in need, and how do you ensure that philosophy aligns with your resources and capacity?
Well, that's definitely a challenge, trying to uphold our motto by also having the resources. And, just because we're a nonprofit organization doesn't mean that, we get things for free. Our bills are super, super high. There's a rising cost of veterinary care all across the country, actually. There's a nationwide veterinarian shortage, which is not only driving up costs, but making it extremely difficult to, get anything at low cost. And there's so many communities here in New York City that it's unaffordable, actually, to have a pet. And that's really unfortunate because, they bring so much comfort and joy. But times are tough. And if it comes to putting food on your table or getting your cat spayed or neutered, you're going to go to the grocery store. So it really is a challenge. And again, just because we're a nonprofit doesn't mean that we don't have to pay the same amount as regular people. We are fortunate to work with a few organizations that do offer low cost spay neuter. So whereas it would be like anywhere from $500 to $1,500 for a spay at like your regular clinic, we're using some clinics that are anywhere from 50 to 150. But it's definitely really, really challenging, the financial aspect of all of this. And that's just for, basic care. That doesn't even include if there's like serious problems. And one of our main focuses is complex medical cases. And if you're going to hospitalize your animal, you're talking about thousands of dollars. We are lucky in the sense that we do have a lot of supporters. Social media has been such a blessing. And, we post the cat stories and we're able to raise money and get them hospital care and veterinary care. And that's been great, but it adds up and it's really, really difficult.
Yeah, listening to you, I'm like $1,500 for a spade. That adds up quick.
It's unaffordable. It really, for a regular person, it's just not affordable. It's so sad.
Mm-hmm. How does PKNYC engage with the New York City community to promote awareness and support for your rescue efforts?
So of course, social media, we're always, talking about spay neuter. There's been a lot of laws this year passed that are going to hopefully help. One is a ban on backyard breeding. So we've been posting about that and just trying to educate people on the problems that backyard breeding can cause. You find an animal off Craigslist, people don't know. You get it from a breeder. You again have your animal and you're like, okay, I have to bring it to the veterinarian, and the veterinarian is going to say, okay, well, the visit is $100. The vaccines are $30 each. And so you just spent $2,500 on buying your dog or buying your fancy cat. And then you have to spend another $2,000 getting them vetted. We always like to encourage people to go for adoption because your animal is going to come spayed and neutered, come with their vaccines. Every adoption, we educate people on, what to feed them, proper carriers, leashes, pet insurance. Pet insurance is a really great way to protect you and protect your pet. Like I said, you go to an emergency visit here and you're spending $1,000. Like, no, you're not leaving without spending $1,000. So pet insurance is a great way to protect, your finances and your pet. And then, just being out there on the streets, sometimes people are like, it's weird to see just, people running around with traps. It's not like an everyday thing. And a lot of people stop us and they're like, what are you doing? And they want to protect the cats. They want to make sure that, our intentions are good because there are a lot of people with bad intentions. And so we just talk to them, tell them what we're doing. And then, sometimes people are even inspired to help us out. We'll watch the traps or, give the cat a ride. So just being out there and talking to people and explaining what we're doing and why we're trapping them has been, super helpful.
And kind of going off of that, what kind of training do you foster and the volunteers undergo to handle, those things?
Yeah. So if you volunteer to, help at our shelter space, we have like a 2 or 3 day training program where you'll be paired with a senior volunteer and we explain all the rules and everything. And we have guidelines. For foster care, we do like a FaceTime interview, talk to you about our standards and what we expect. We also have a guide that we have you read, and we're always here for people. Like we have a group chat for every foster, and me and my team are in every chat. And we're here for any questions that people may have. And, if you're not experienced, we guide you every step of the way. We have a behaviorist that works with us. If you have a cat or dog that, has difficult behavior, we're here to guide you. So me and my team are always here for support or questions.
Mm-hmm. So I like that name, Puppy Kitty NYCity. How did you come up with that name?
Everyone asks that, and they're like, well, why Puppy Kitty when we're more kitties? It's just like because it sounded cute and it rhymed. And we definitely are more of a kitty rescue, but we do have some dogs. Dogs are a challenge here in New York, especially because of space. It's tough. So cats make it a little bit easier space wise. And but we do some dogs, and there's just no homeless dogs here running around on the street. It's more people who are giving them up or neglect them or getting them from municipal shelters. But the cats they're everywhere, so that's why we focus sort of more on cat rescue.
So has there ever been any stories that kind of touched you the most?
Yeah, this year was a quite a year for stories. In January, we had a hoarding situation where we rescued 34 cats from one apartment. It was really crazy. We didn't have any help from the authorities. Even the police came. Unfortunately, the NYPD doesn't really have a lot of training and experience on dealing with animal issues, and we actually are meeting with them and trying to make it better and get these animals, the help that they need and support the police in what they need to do and understand when these issues come about. So, we showed up on the scene and they were just like, no, sorry, we can't help. So we took out the 34 cats, and one of them, let me see if I can find him. I'm going to show him to you. Give me 1 second. This is Legend. He is a double amputee, so he has no back legs. And he's one of the cats who he came from this house, and he had deformed back legs when he was found, and some of the cats were thrown out the window, some of the cats were still in the apartment, so it was like half and half. And he was one of the ones that were thrown out the window. And the doctor said, these legs are not viable. There's nothing that we can do. I think it's best, like, if you amputate them, it'll probably make it easier for him to get around. So we did the double amputation, and he has been on the move ever since. I fostered him, and on Christmas Day, me and my husband decided to officially adopt him. And he is just, such an inspiration. It's just amazing, like looking at him and seeing him walk around and not letting anything hold him back. Like, yeah, he has 2 legs, but he still runs around, jumps on the bed, jumps on the couch. He has his own Instagram account, Legend, a legendary cat. He's amazing. Because like the animals, like, they don't let these things get them down because they just, they just live their lives. And it was amazing experience to see him from so shut down to like now just running around and playing with toys. It's touched me in a way that, like, I don't even know if I could put into words. It's just, he's so special.
Yeah. What are some things that you didn't anticipate when you got into this nonprofit?
Yeah, I didn't, I kind of fell into this by accident. I always loved animals, so it's kind of natural that, like, I fell into the path of rescue, but it's draining. It's like, but it's made me stronger, like, it's such an emotional drain, and physically all of this sadness could really take a toll on someone if you're not emotionally strong. Thankfully, I'm so thankful that, I'm emotionally strong, and, everyone's like, how do you not cry every day? And it's so funny. I have this sweatshirt on that says, I want to cry, but I have shit to do. Like, I do want to cry, but I don't have time. So, like, I'm just thankful that I'm emotionally strong, and that's like what's driving me to keep doing this. Like, I can't, oh my God, this is so sad. I can't sit around and cry, because if I do, I won't be able to get things done. And I let these animals inspire me to keep going and keep doing what we do. And, it's a lot of times it does feel like you're a hamster on a wheel, but you just got to keep going.
Yeah. How has what role does public education play in your mission, particularly around the I guess the feral cat colonies?
Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard, especially if someone is like set in their ways. So like I try to focus on younger people and like my peers versus like, older people like, an aunt or an uncle. I really focus on young people. And if you're taught at a young age like not to buy animals and that animals are a gift and not a gift like a present, a gift like we're lucky to have them, you grow up appreciating them. And if you teach young kids that how to be respectful and that spay neuter is important, they're going to grow up to be an adult who does the right thing. You teach them that pets are a commitment. It's not something, pet ownership is not something that you take lightly. And we do have programs where, we go to schools and talk to kids and, even talking to my own family and friends, I'm still trying to convince everyone, don't buy a dog, don't buy your kid a dog. It's a lot of work and you don't know what's happening to that dog's parent. They're probably sitting in a cage being bred over and over and over and over and over again while these companies are profiting. And here I am killing myself to try to save these homeless animals. And that's just adding to the problem. So, and people don't realize it. And education is huge, and getting that message out there that adopt, don't shop is really, one of definitely our big focuses.
What has well, I'll ask you this. As your company has grown, continues to grow, what are some of the larger scale initiatives and projects that you hope to implement as you move into the new year?
Yeah. I would love to start a low cost spay neuter clinic. These communities that have cat problems are usually low income communities. And like I said, regular people are not affording $1,500. Low income people are definitely not going to be able to afford $1,500. And if we're going to empower people, we need to give them the tools and the resources to be able to do it. And, a lot of these cat people are, little old ladies that are just trying to, they're retired and feeding cats and want to help them, but can't. So definitely a low cost spay neuter clinic is on our radar. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it off by 2025, but we're going to try. Even low cost vaccine clinics, just helping people keeping their animals vaccines up to date is so important. Even a regular vet visit and keeping pets with their families. And that helps if you're able to get some low cost services. And the need out there is great.
What
There is one other thing I would like to do is, a lot of times domestic violence affects not only, people and women, but it also affects their pets. And if they have to move out from a spouse or a partner and go to a shelter, there's only one shelter in all of New York City where you can bring your animals. And I get messages all the time, and it breaks my heart, that you're going through this domestic violence situation and now you're going to also lose your pet. It's like so sad. So I would love to, try to figure something out where, we can hold on to your pet and take care of it until you're able to figure out like what you need to do and where you're going to live. And so that's something that's on our radar for this year as well.
what has working with pets taught you about yourself?
Um, it's taught me kind of like I'm like a cat, like resilient. Like you can do anything to these cats, and they're like, I'm a cat. I am gonna survive. Like two legs, not gonna stop me. And like that's kind of how I am. Like, nothing is gonna stop me from doing what I have to do and making it work and trying to help these animals and give them a voice. You just have to be resilient and keep going and never give up.
So you you've been doing this since 2014.
17 or well, yeah, 2014.
You that's a lot of work. That's a lot of time that you've put into this thing with the animals. what would you say is the most common challenges that you face in, rescuing these animals and trying to, rehabilitate them?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, but one is like time. I also have a full-time job. This is not my full-time job. This is like my side thing.
Yeah.
Time is difficult balancing, like rescue life balance, like work-life balance, rescue life balance is tough. Like, on holidays, my husband's like, can you not be on your phone? But sometimes I can't, like if the hospital is calling me to make a decision or pay a bill, I can't not be on my phone. It's like a 24-hour a day commitment. So time is definitely an issue. Money, it's a big stress because we don't have any income. It's all fundraising. So it's scary. Like, if people started, what if people started to decide that they didn't think we were doing a good enough job? So money and time is definitely my two biggest, stress issues.
Yeah. What for everybody who who wants to go and take a look, what are some of your social media handles and things that they can get in
Yeah.
contact with you?
You could follow us on Instagram at Puppy Kitty NYCity. Same on TikTok, Twitter, or X, Threads, Facebook. We're on there. You can go to our website, www.puppykittynyc.org. And that's how you'll keep up with what we're up to.
So when I edit the video and everything, I'm going to put all that stuff in there, and then I'll tag you and everything on social media. But I have one more question for you. What have you learned about yourself mentally and spiritually?
I definitely learned that, I'm strong. I'm a very strong person. And this is just making me stronger. Because you can't be in this if you don't have, some emotional like toughness. And if you're like unstable, it's just not the road to go down because it is so emotional in a lot of ways. It's like an emotional roller coaster, and it can really like take a toll on your mental health if you're not able to literally like keep your eye on the prize. I'm yes, this is sad. Yes, this is a horrible situation, but you know what? I'm making a difference, and it's really enriched my life and made me so thankful to know that I'm lucky to have what I have, because you see horrible things, like these people who got evicted from this house, like it broke my heart for them too. And it really has taught that I am a lucky person and that I can give back and give more to people who are not as lucky as I am.
I've learned, with myself and talking to, everybody when I'm doing this podcast that when we set out on goals and things that we do, we always have visions, but we never envision the the bad part about it. You know what I mean? We always
Yeah.
envision the good goals, and when we go through those things, I mean, it always going to make us stronger, but those things can take a toll on the things that you do. But Megan, I can't tell you, I appreciate you being on this podcast with me today and sharing your story and the things that you do. And we're gonna together we're gonna try to push the word out a whole lot more. We're hopefully we can collaborate on some things in the future.
Yeah, I'd love that. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you too, baby.